Tales from a broken town, and I hope I don't see you around me, 'cause I know it's to come. Welcome to the Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast. Today we have an all-new and awesome guest. His name is Zack Cherry. We're here to talk about his YouTube channel and his podcast as well as anything else. So yeah, let's get started.
Hey.
Congrats on 50,000.
Thanks, man.
You hit it. That's awesome.
Appreciate
so
it.
Happy for you, man. Yeah. Honestly, your channel is almost at 4 million views. That's crazy. That's so cool.
Is it at 4 million? I don't.
It's almost at. It's at 300 or 3,800,000. That's where you're at. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy
right.
cool.
Oh wow. I forget that's there for the public to view.
That's okay. It's good that you don't know. It shows that you're a modest person.
I'm not, but I just assume because I look at my stats, like all the metrics and things, so that's where I know that is there. I look too much, and I forget that some of that information is
public. Yeah. Some of it now you can make private, but some YouTube channels have access to things that others don't. Like some YouTubers can hide their subscriber count now. And for me, I can't do that, but I can hide my likes if I want.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I do notice when they hide their subscriber count.
It kind of looks bad though, doesn't it?
I don't know if it looks bad, because in the end, a subscriber count is a vanity thing.
Absolutely.
And the number of subscribers you have does not reflect the quality of your content. I've watched videos of people's channels who have less than 1,000, and that the quality of that's really good. I've made videos personally where when I had less than 1,000 subscribers on my channel, and people were like, "Oh wow, you deserve way more subscribers." I still have people sending me or commenting that I deserve more subscribers, and I just take it it comes in ebbs and flows. There's sometimes where I don't get a whole lot new subscribers in a month, and then other times where they'll get 1,000 in a couple of days.
Right.
Which is where it's at right now.
It's still better than nothing.
Yeah, it's nice, but I think from a business standpoint, because this is kind of what I do to earn a living, the thing that I care about the most is getting the views. So it's nice to hear that I'm almost at 4 million views, because that to me equals food on the table and other things. So
when we first started chatting, you had 100 subscribers. Think about that.
Was that when we first talked? Oh wow.
And I've honestly been friends with other YouTubers who stopped being my friend after they blew up, and you didn't. So I appreciate you for that.
Oh, well, fuck those people.
Right. I'm not going to say their names because there's no point in doing that.
No, that's fair. That's very respectful.
Respect.
No, there are people who do comments, and they're like, I've been watching since 1,000 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers. So I think you're one of the 100. You might be one of the earliest ones, because I know that probably the first 100 I had, or at least I know the day one, when I maybe posted my first video, I went on Facebook and was just like, "Hey, I have a YouTube channel. Go subscribe." So I feel a bunch of those people were just the sympathy subscribers.
Yeah, that's
those
Facebook
people who I've known for years who don't have any interest in my YouTube channel, but are gonna go and
they do it because they love you.
Yeah, exactly.
I got that too. Don't worry.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool to hear. Thank you. I'm glad that you're one of the earliest ones, because I do remember I've been chatting with you for a while.
Oh yeah, definitely, for a long time now. Almost 2 years, I think it's coming up to.
Yeah, it would have been October 2019. I think that's when I started.
Around that time, I was playing on stage every week, at least once. And I've kind of eased up on that. Actually, I played on stage for the first time in 2 months the other night. Or a couple weeks ago, actually, yeah.
Well, I mean, with the pandemic and everything, it
not just that. I still played a lot during the pandemic. It was a long story, but let's just say there's a bad business here in Daytona that's run by a bad dude, and I started gaining information, and they try to botch blackmail. Well, that's all bullshit. It's whatever. I'm better off without them. Oh, totally. But yeah. So yeah, I wanted to ask, what is your goal for the YouTube and the Patreon and the podcast for the next few years?
Yeah.
Or just in 2021 alone, but like for a future as well.
No. Yeah. That's fair.
Kind of botched the question. Sorry.
I mean, it's funny saying this just because we just came off of the heels of saying that subscriber count is a kind of a vanity label, but it would be nice to get.
But it's okay
to get up to 100,000 because when you get to 100K, they give you the silver play button. Which, I'm all about, material things and little trophies and stuff. So it's nice to have like a plaque that just says you did this. But I would to buy my own house.
Buy your own house? That's awesome. You should.
Yeah, I don't think that I'll be able to do it this year, but hopefully in a couple of years. That's something I definitely want to save up towards because I've been living in rental properties for, my whole life, my whole adult life. So it would just be nice to have that stability.
Do you have your own place or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I live alone. I've always had my own place. I've had roommates in the past, but it's nice to.
I've had trouble with that too, though. It's nicer to be on your own.
Yeah,
it's hard to live, especially with other guys. It's hard to live with other dudes.
I've never.
For me,
I've never lived with a woman, so I can't attest to the difficulties.
The only time I've lived with a woman is in a relationship, and that hasn't always worked out the best.
That's different than like if you have a platonic roommate situation.
Right. Yeah. No, it's completely different. It's a whole different boatload, different story.
Yeah, and likewise, I've never been in any sort of relationship with anyone that I've lived with. But I think it just comes down to just needing your own space. Because, I agree. A lot of people are meant to, be around other people. Extroverts, if you will. So that's totally cool. And they need that company to thrive and be successful and just draw energy from. For me, I like to be alone. I like my solitude. Especially for a creative process. I don't like anyone around here.
We're similar in that way.
Yeah, especially and I wanted to ask you what is your your songwriting process and just creating music?
You want to know my secret, especially not to children. If it helps, it helps for adults. But I smoke a lot of weed and then I write songs.
Nice. I think it cut out a little bit there. I don't know if you want to just repeat.
I turn green. Yeah. I smoke weed and then I make songs, essentially. I'll smoke pot and write. But I don't encourage it to children, just to adults who it helps. If it makes you paranoid, if you don't like it, it doesn't work for you, don't do it.
Fair enough.
That's my advice. Shouldn't smoke cigarettes either. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I just didn't want to hit my vape. It's loud and annoying on the camera. So
fair. You wouldn't be annoying me, but I can definitely attest to the paranoia. That's probably a big reason why I don't smoke weed anymore. But
right, yeah. People try to say, "Oh, it causes paranoia because it's illegal," but I don't know. If you're in the mindset of being paranoid and you smoke weed, it's gonna enhance that. even though they legally say it's not an enhancer, it really is. That's why I've been able to put out 9 albums with the band within 6 years.
Yeah.
And they don't suck. I mean, they're not the best. I could have gone back and I wish that I'd spent more time on a lot of things. Yeah. I don't like taking credit either. It freaks me out.
So so you started in 2015?
We formed in 2015. Our first album came out in 2016. And it was made to sound like it was recorded in the 60s, but the kids my age didn't like it. It's like, I left headphone scratches in there and make it sound like it was literally like an early Beatles album. And if you're in the right mood, you can sort of get the point, but you really got to work to listen to it. So that happened.
I love our second retro vibe, though.
Yeah, retro vibes are great. Yeah, especially like when a lot of music is washed out. Like I started my career going on local television in Massachusetts at Stoughton Media Access Television with my buddy Frank Walsh. He interviewed us a few times, actually. And essentially, I just went on a tirade about how modern pop is really drawn out and lazy and boring and stale and not very good. So I wanted to be able to give a shot in the arm to music like that was life, like life and love and something more than what was being put out. The issue was I wanted to do it with all real instruments, and I said that on TV. The first time I went on TV, I was baked like a cake, and it didn't go well because, first time on TV. So essentially I took a step back. I went to Missouri on my own at 19. So I've been on my own since I was 19. I went back to Massachusetts after that. I got engaged to a 36-year-old mom. She was beating me when she was drunk. So when my mom got sick with cancer and I moved to Florida, it just made it easier. But I was putting out music through all of it. So, and I have side projects too, but just keeping busy with it. It's good for you. I started it all because I almost died, and then I was like, I got to put something out to be remembered by, and I just sort of went with it since. Yeah. I'm not looking for any sympathy. I'm just telling you the story. I know you never heard it, so.
No, I mean, please. If you're willing to share.
I was stupid. I was 18. There's this girl named Kayla. There's a song about her on our 2020 trilogy, Wake and Bake, Unsolved Mysteries. Essentially, I was a really shitty boyfriend at 18. I had a really tough upbringing, a lot of it due to myself, the way I was choosing to act. And I got punished for it, essentially. A lot of corrupted residential homes and being medicated for things I didn't have. I was medicated from 5 to 19, and I quit cold turkey at 19, and I haven't been on meds since. But essentially, I was in love with this girl that I wasn't treating right, and she wouldn't talk to me, and it was Christmas Day, and I was under the influence of alcohol and some drugs, weed, and medication. I was on an antidepressant, and I'm that rare case where, like, if you take an antidepressant, hold on, I'm getting a call. You good? We good? Okay. Yeah. If you're on an antidepressant, it makes you like suicidal if you're that rare case. That's what it was for me. But I wasn't really trying to kill myself. I had caused this whole scene. My parents were just fed up at that point. They were freaking out and just trying to send me to the ER because they just thought there was something wrong with me. And there was. I was choosing to act like this. I don't know what was wrong. I guess 18, some 18-year-olds are a little rougher off than others.
We're all fucking stupid at 18.
Yeah. So I don't know if I thought we were at a red light or what, but I couldn't take it, and I just said fuck it, and I tried to tuck and roll from the car. We were going 40, and I fractured my spine. So I went through that whole thing. I had to go into intense care. Actually, our original band member, Steven Spacey, who's with the band again, he was one of the first people at the hospital to see me, him and Shane. They met because of me. That's his girlfriend. They've been together 6 years, I think, something like that. So that they were like the first people there to see me, aside from my dad and my stepmom, and my old family friend Peter, who's since passed away. But so that was the start of it. I essentially recorded the first song on the first album right after that, Orphan Son, which is more of a shock value song. Like, The lyrics originally were, "What they don't know is I have a gun and they need to stay away from me for I have one," or some shit like that. But it was just shock value. I meant nothing. I even left like at the end of the song. It's all nonsense because like I don't actually have a gun. That's what makes it funny. But people don't get that. They'll just take it in the wrong way and think that I'm some nutbag. Like, here's another thing you'll really love is our first album, the cover. When I was 14, I had this like mentor from the state, Julius Franco, and it was like a Big Brother type program. He's really cool. Take me to see free movies. That's how I got into the MCU. I saw like every single Phase 1 and 2 movie, and that was out of his own pocket, which was really nice. And he was always cool. Like, with all the corruption I dealt with child help in Massachusetts, like, he was he was the best one. I have him on Facebook. I still talk to him. He's a therapist. He's good people. And essentially, I bought this Dawn Post 2008 Michael Myers mask, and it was shit. It was one of the bad ones. If you know your Michael Myers mask, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why would you spend $50 on that mask?" So about 4 years pass, and my parents are getting ready to move down here, and I wasn't in a good enough place for me to come with them because I was unstable. I was doing drugs. I wasn't in a good place. I don't act like that anymore. We all do stupid shit at 19, right? Like we said earlier. And I essentially I was like making the first album, and I needed an album cover, and I was sleeping in a tent in the woods, and I get snowed on, right? And the Social Security Administration goofed on a little technicality error. And they're like, "We're so sorry," and gave me $1,000, and then like retroactively gave me like 10 grand they didn't owe me, because they know I could sue them. I could. I'm not going to, but I could sue them for putting my life in danger because of a technicality issue. Right. But essentially, that right before that, as this was the day this was all happening, I get snowed on, and I'm at my friend Steven's house, and I'm like, "We need an album cover. We got to do this." So I'm wearing this pea coat, and I have the mask that I've cut up into this weird thing, and I put a top hat, like a old Western top hat on it, right? And I had him take the picture, and then I converted the picture to, it was like red and black and black and white, but it looked too graphic because it looked like whoever the character was, he got shot in the head.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, that's too much for people. Let's edit it. Let's censor it, black and white. So that's what it turned into. So years later, I sent Julius a message on Facebook. I'm like, "That's why I spent $50 on that mask."
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
so
serendipitous.
I did some.
It's a shit mask, but something good came of it.
Yeah, my first album cover. I think if the movie Halloween never happened, if they never took the Shatner mask to make that would never have happened. So
yeah, that's crazy.
I have the Halloween franchise to thank for my career. That brings me to another question for you, because this is my interview with you. Thanks for asking me a question. I appreciate you for that. I want to hear about your anticipation for Scream 5. I'm not going to call it Scream 2022. Shit, I just did. And the new Halloween trilogy, as well as any other horror movies.
We'll start with Scream 5.
Fuck yeah.
5 Cream.
Fuck yeah. 5 Cream.
I'm trying to put as much distance between that movie and myself as possible.
You've been doing good, not jumping on the clickbait bullshit. There's other channels doing it. I don't like it. Trying to say Sydney dies in the opening scene. They wouldn't do that. If they're respecting Wes's legacy, they would not do that.
I don't even know that much that's going on, because when word first broke, that's kind of how I got momentum going on my channel, because I was covering Scream 5 before anyone else was doing it.
You're doing it better because you're not jumping on the clickbait shit. You're using legitimate stuff. That's what I appreciate.
Oh yeah, I would.
That's why I watch your content.
Look up things, and I would look up things like, could this be something? But it got to a point where news was rapidly coming in, and I did a video because somebody that I know who had a relative who auditioned for the part had the casting call sheet. So they sent me all that information. So I had all the stuff about the new characters. They've since changed the names. I think they kept the first letter of the names the same. But it was all these characters, and I broke the news on that, and then I felt like really guilty afterwards. I'm just like, you know what? Like, this is a franchise that has been cursed with, I mean, not necessarily bad sequels, because, you know, I love every single one of those movies.
None of them are as good as the first, as much as I love them too. I was watching Scream 3 last night.
Yeah, like the first is always going to be the best.
Right.
But even then, like, they're still great movies, with all things considered.
Yeah.
But
great films.
there was so much shit that went down with, I mean, even starting with 2, because the script leaked online, and they had to change that, and then with 3.
Oh, that reminds me. I want to hear your theory. Do you think, because Williamson has gone back and said that the original ending was just a fake out, but at that time the internet wasn't as big as it was. Do you think it was actually a fake out, or do you think that original ending is the original ending?
The original ending of the first movie?
Derek and Hallie. No, the second one.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't given it too much thought. I kind of just go with what's canon, that it's Mickey and sorry, am I allowed to say? I guess you'll.
Yeah, I mean, it's been over 20 years.
I mean, I have a video that basically says who the names on it, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really trust anything that anyone from Hollywood said. Like, even Neve Campbell, like during the entire process where when we were first getting the Scream 5 news, and she was saying, "Oh, I haven't heard anything," or like, "My phone hasn't rang," and
that was bullshit.
And everyone's like, "Well, I believe that." I'm like, no, like these are seasoned professionals. They've been doing this.
Professional liars. They should be better at lying.
Exactly. They've been doing this for 30 years. They know what's going on. They've got contracts. And that's why I never for a second doubted that they wouldn't be in the movie.
Yeah.
But still, just getting back to what we were saying, like, all of those sequels kind of floundered from having too much information spill. And this is back in the day where the internet wasn't as big as it is now with social media platforms, where spoilers and word about, you know, what happens in the movie or who's going to be in what, you know, so easily gets out. That I felt like, look, I'm contributing to the potential downfall of another sequel. Not necessarily the downfall, but for them,
it could suck. It could come out and be shit.
Yeah, but the potentiality that they might have to go back and spend more money on trying to fix something because someone like me went ahead and blabbed about something that, you know, should have been private. And, you know, to this point, like, after that, I kind of like, look, I'm gonna put some distance between myself and the movie, not only because I don't want to fuck it up for production or other people who don't want to be spoiled, but I also want to go into the movie, like, just from a selfish standpoint. I want to go into the movie and feel like I'm watching it for the first time. And I know that, and I'll get to this with Halloween in a second here. I like to set my expectations really low for new movies when I go into them, because I find that, you know, if I build something up way too much in my head, I'm going to be like, okay, well, that was not good at all. And that was something that definitely happened for
denial with the new, for me, with the new Star Wars movie, it was denial. All 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like overly excited for nothing that happened. They just said, fuck you. That's what The Last Jedi is to me. It's like just a punk rock fuck you to Star Wars fans. Whereas like Stanley Kubrick's movies were like fuck you to the establishment and things like that.
Oh, totally.
It's like good. That's why good directors aren't around anymore, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're taken from us too soon. Like Wes Craven, for instance.
Oh, yes, Wes Craven.
But I want to, you know, for all in it, like, it might be a subpar movie.
They're never going to do what I want them to do, is find a way to bring back Randy. You know, my buddy Jamie Kennedy. He'd be great bringing him back.
I mean,
his career needs it too.
I'm interested.
He deserves to be in better shit. Just saying.
I mean, Fair enough. What I'm interested, and I was actually going to have a discussion with him or do a video a while back. This would have been over a year now, which never came to fruition. But his assistant got in touch with me, and Alyssa.
Yeah, and she's great.
Yeah,
they're all awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And
they're my buddies too.
Oh, nice. She was telling me this is before really any sort of Scream 5 like solid casting news came out. She's like, look, Jamie's really like, he wants to petition to come back to the franchise. He thinks that your channel would be a good platform to just kind of get some excitement going for that. And we talked about it, and nothing really happened because this was right before the pandemic, literally like a month before, and it just
I could talk to them if you want. I'll send them this link. They'll watch this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I still chat with her. I mean, I haven't for a while, but we were trying to get something to happen.
Super nice people,
and it just didn't.
She's super nice. They all are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A second.
I think it just got to a point where it was just like phone tag or like message tag, and then it didn't happen, and I got so busy.
That happens.
I got so busy with just like making new content and
they're super busy too. They're on the road doing stand up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
like all the time.
He has his own podcast now too.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah, I would totally be down for that because I have questions for Jamie. Because one thing I wanted to hear about, he was invited back for Scream 4.
I know he was. And they dicked him on that.
Yeah, whatever happened, like they changed their mind at the last minute. But I wanted to know what more about what was going to happen. Why did they want him to come back? What was the revelation going to be? Like, was this going to be another video, or was it going to be revealed that he wasn't dead?
There's a great interview on that from before the pandemic on Collider where Christian Harloff of Schmoes Know interviews him talking about that stuff. Actually, I used to call into the Schmoes Know all the time when they were doing their podcast in Burbank.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one. And I think that's where kind of like the germ of the idea, or at least that Alyssa had presented to me, because Jamie was like, oh yeah, I have ideas for how he can come back. I think that's what what we were going to discuss.
Bro, there's so much. You should do that interview. I'll literally send this to him because it's a big plug for him anyway.
Yeah, I'm always.
People follow Kyle Anderson too. He helps Jamie run his YouTube channel, and he also has a great YouTube channel. Really funny stand-up comedian.
All right. Yeah, my door is always open to any Scream people, cast or crew.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If they want to hang out. But yeah, having said that, with Scream 5, I don't know what this movie's going to be. Like I have hopes. I mean, I can definitely see that the director duo, Matt and Tyler, they certainly they have a respect and admiration for the franchise, and that really shows through.
Right. I'm just worried about one of those writers. One of those writers has a bad history.
Yeah, that was one trepidation too. Just like looking at their history, and then the other one I know worked on Ready or Not, which is a great movie. I love Ready or Not.
I haven't seen it. I need to.
Oh no! Okay, yeah, you totally should. Then I won't. I won't really say anything. But I did have some issues with the script with that movie. Tell
me the issues though. I don't really care.
I just think it's more care. Other people may. Well, I won't spoil anything. It's just more so just to do with character and narrative.
Okay.
More so just like with the main character played by
is it Samara Weaving?
Yeah, Samara Weaving.
I knew it.
Margot Robbie.
How did I remember that?
They look exactly alike. But
do they? No, don't tell me that because now I'm gonna get them mixed up.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I just felt like it didn't really feel like she was in the driver's seat of the movie. Like as a we're watching a story about compared to a Sidney Prescott in a Scream movie, who literally takes charge of, even
they do that well.
Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode. And I felt that, Samara Weaving definitely looks the part and acts the part, but she was not given the material to work
enough
with
material
in terms of the script to meet the full potential of what she could have done as a final girl, kicking ass in one of these movies. I'm
surprised they don't put her in Scream 5. I'm legitimately surprised.
I mean, and this is something I heard, and again, trying to distance myself from the Scream 5 news. Is that they wanted to, but she was busy with some other project at the time.
Damn, that sucks to be busy for that, huh?
But I mean,
it'd be cool to be a part.
I have faith in the directors. Obviously, there's certain aspects of it. My biggest fear is that it's going to be another Scream 4. Which, I mean...
Or 3. Because they got three. The chick who plays Martha Meeks, right? Heather Matarazzo was on the set. There's photos of that. So,
that's another thing I did.
And then there's Wes Meeks.
I think with the problem with Scream 3 is that that was... I mean, both of them, it was a lot of studio meddling.
Yeah.
The problem with Scream 3 is that there really was no story. There was a concept that Weinstein's really wanted to see done, and that was to have it all, come to Hollywood. And they... Kevin Williamson was busy at the time.
They pretty much just exposed themselves. That's what they did. They're like, here's our story. Let's just call it Scream.
They're shits. They fuck them. Dicks,
Yeah, fuck them.
But
he'll die of COVID in prison. I talked about it with actually, the movie Heckler? Jamie Kennedy's movie about hate he got for Son of the Mask. I had the director, Michael Addis, on my podcast. Okay. Well, this podcast recently. And he actually produced the new Home Improvement reboot. Also, I didn't even know that until after.
Home Improvement?
They did. Yeah, he produced it.
Is it already aired?
I'm not sure yet. I'll have to talk to him about it. But yeah, he was on the podcast, and I was literally talking to him about how Harvey Weinstein is probably going to die in COVID or die in prison of COVID. And he's also telling me he met somebody that he jerked off in front of, and how sad it is, to be at that point in your life,
I mean, I don't wish that ill will upon anyone, even someone like Harvey Weinstein. But I will say that I'm glad that he will never.
But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I'm glad to say that he will never be able to abuse another actor.
Yeah,
and he won't
can't say
be
the
able
same for
to
Cosby.
Abuse the. Oh, I know, right? Fuck. He won't be able to abuse the Scream franchise anymore.
Mom,
What's that?
Did you know that? My mom voted for Obama in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, actually where they just filmed the new season of Dexter. And she was working at a place called the Village Restaurant. There were other people working there too. And he has a house in Shelburne Falls. So on election or voting day, down comes the street is Bill Cosby. He says, "What's up, bitches?" Gropes them as he's taking pictures of them. There's photos of it.
And this is when?
Yeah. 2008, when Obama was being elected. Yeah. When the votes were, when you could vote. I think it was the not the midterm, but the final election around November, right? 2008, or whenever. When was he inaugurated? January 2009. Yeah.
Fuck, yeah. I can't remember.
November 2008.
I can't remember. I can't remember what I did.
Or it might have been the summer. It might have been the primaries, because I remember there being T-shirts in the photo. Yeah. But my cousin Tracy has all the photos, so I could just talk to her and get the photos.
Yeah.
I have them.
I mean, I have we know that he's a piece of shit. We don't,
Oh yeah, dude. Double Toasted did a great video on that. A great video breaking the whole thing down. He's like, we know he's guilty, but we shouldn't all be up in arms about it. He was upset. He was upset. I'm upset too. It's a sad time for our justice system in America. Mm-hmm. If this continues to happen for the future, it could be really bad. So we need to shape things to be better. That's what I think. Oh, totally. But it's just been freaking me out a little bit.
Understandable.
So, sorry to get on that topic. Let's get back on the movies. Sorry.
No, that's good. It's your pod. You steer it wherever you want. No, okay. Well, I'll just say that. Okay, about Scream 5. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going in with a blank slate. I'm not going. It would be nice if this was better than 3 and 4. If it was even better than 2. That'd be wonderful. But I'm not.
Like I said, big mistake of 2 was killing off Randy. Everyone agrees. He was the audience character. You don't kill off your audience in the second movie.
It was a mistake, but at the same time, it was shocking, and it definitely adds to the value of the movie in that regard. But I don't think that it was a very well thought out long-term plan on the part of.
Now that 2 movies have come out since, do you think it would have been more beneficial for the movie to have killed off Gale instead of Randy in that scene?
Oh, absolutely not. I would sacrifice Randy before Gale.
Fair enough. Yeah. Then again, at the end of that movie, she really does help out, and she pretty much is the height of the whole investigations of 3 and 4. Yeah. You wouldn't really have a movie of 3 without Gale.
No, 3 is all Gale and Dewey.
It's true. They make that movie, except for that haircut. Oof. Both of them.
Oh,
both of them look weird in that movie.
It is iconic.
Dewey's fat, and he has less of a limp, and progressively past 2, he has less of a limp.
Yeah. Well, because physiotherapy. He
right. I was thinking
it was in an outtake. He said something about it. It was like a joke. Because he wanted to refer to it, but it's he just didn't want to be compared to Doofy anymore. Because in two, that's where Doofy came from. That's where the whole was his limp in 2 after he got stabbed in 1. So Scary Movie 1 took from all 3 movies actually. Because in the end credits scene, it has Shorty doing the scene, but they're about to rob a convenience store. It's fucking hilarious. Right. That movie's great. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Lunch isn't a class, Shorty. It is when you got the munchies. Just, the CGI doesn't hold up, and it kind of ruins Scream a little bit. If you try to go back and watch, or you try to explain Scream to someone and they think you're talking about Scary Movie, and then they're like, oh, that shit? But it's supposed to be that. It's like the Wayans brothers, just having fun, man.
Yeah.
That's some of the funniest stuff from that time. Yeah, they knew comedy. The Weinstein screwed them over too on Scary Movie 3. They took their idea and made it anyway. Oh, yeah. They just took the people from Airplane.
Yeah,
and it's not as good.
I mean, but it's wide dimension films. Miramax went to shit in the mid 2000s. Scream 4, right? Yeah. Scream 4 literally had a line where it was so important to what the point of the movie was. The deleted scene where Judy Hicks asks about the door frame around Olivia's head, and he's like, "My sister Tatum," and dude, they cut that out because they didn't want to be. Weinstein didn't want it to be brought back up that he raped Tatum or Rose McGowan in real life. He knew that it would come out at some point, and she's been outspoken about it since the whole Me Too thing. I feel like they cut that line to do that, despite her. They digitally removed that door frame from her neck, didn't they? Yeah.
They put money into removing it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird.
That was weird.
It's just guilty conscience, man.
I mean, that's all it is. It's a fresh start. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
It's nice that Kevin Williamson is involved in it. So I have high hopes.
Oh, he isn't, or is he?
No, he is. He's
good. He's an executive producer. Right.
So I don't know to what extent he's contributing to the story. But I mean,
I hope he's helping the writers, like the guy who did the Amazing Spider-Man movie. What's his name again?
I have no idea, but
I can't remember.
Is it Busick or Van something? Is the other
Vanderbilt?
One? Yeah,
Vanderbilt.
It's one of the two. Yeah. But I mean, it's just in terms of he's gonna have the final say.
Oh, that's funny. Williamson wrote Dawson's Creek, and he worked with Vanderbeek, and now he's working with Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, yeah. All
That's
the
funny.
Vanders.
The Vanders.
Halloween Kills.
Ooh, yes. So the first one disappointed you. You were telling me earlier.
I mean, I feel like it's a pretty well known fact for most people who know me already that I didn't love it. I don't hate it. I think it looks amazing. From a production standpoint, 2018's Halloween is the best of the franchise. It's just the story.
Looking wise, yeah, definitely.
It has nothing to do with the fact that they retconned anything. Like I can deal with that. The franchise has done
cool
that
with that.
before.
Yeah.
The franchise is basically a huge choose your own adventure novel at this point.
Pretty much.
Could go off on any different timeline direction.
I only include Halloween 3.
Yeah. I don't think that it was absolutely necessary to remove the brother-sister relationship, because in terms of 2018, it didn't make a whole lot of sense as to why it made sense why Laurie was going after Michael, because she was traumatized by him, but there was nothing that was really drawing Michael to Laurie, and that's why they had to put in the whole bullshit subplot with the doctor driving him.
Yeah, I think originally they had a test screening where Laurie had caused the whole accident, from drinking in the car, and that didn't test well. Right? It just didn't test well. They went and reshot it.
Yeah, because it makes her look bad. But the thing is, like if you want to see like Laurie looking good, go fucking watch the first 2 movies. Watch H2O. Maybe not Resurrection, but I mean. For that's just bad thematically, acting. It makes sense because I think it was the what do you call it, like the slogan or like the subtitle of the movie on the poster where it says like the hunter becomes the hunted or something like that, just implying that in this movie Laurie Strode was going to be the antagonizer, not necessarily the antagonist, but the one who's going after him, the one that's taking action. And in that regard, it would make sense that she is so damaged by the trauma that's happened to her 40 years earlier.
Right.
And that she's so obsessed with this.
And under the influence of a lot of alcohol.
Under the influence of alcohol, everything else that's happening. She's, I mean, more so than H2O. That she would go and probably do something stupid and reckless enough that she would try to run a bus off of the road to kill this guy. Or even just like, she's like this crazy person in town where everyone just knows like that's the crazy lady who lives in the house with the big gate around it, and she has a lot of guns and a shooting range. That people just think
crazy
she's
cat
crazy,
lady.
And that this is kind of her way of getting vindication by showing people, like actually like manufacturing an accident to get Michael Myers, like not even that she was trying to kill him, but she wanted to let him free, let him loose, so he can come and kill a bunch of people, just so she could show, I had to do this to show all you people that I was right the whole time. And I mean, that makes her a shitty fucking person. That makes her like pretty much the villain of the story. Right. And I'm fine with that. Like, I like when movies take risks like that and do different things.
Yeah, me too.
And I feel like, I mean, it is a trilogy, so this is still something that could be retconned. I hope that they do.
Yeah.
By the third one. I don't know what they're going to do.
Even if they still kept that bus scene where she caused the accident, Zartan's scenes would still be in it. Think about that. Zartan would still be in it.
Yeah, if they did
the whole mask.
If they did
try
film
to explain the movie from the second half on to someone else who loves Halloween and doesn't understand what it is, and they'll laugh. As Zartan puts on the mask.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Trying to explain that.
Yeah, but I mean, if they did actually film that scene,
the
and they kept
fucking
it,
French baguette sandwich, they're just.
Oh, the banh mi, yeah.
It's unnecessary. Oh my god.
But take that
scene. I got peanut butter on my penis. What the fuck, dude?
A lot of peanut butter.
Danny McBride wrote that line.
But take that scene. Take this. Like if they filmed it, take the scene of her running the bus off of the road. Put that in the last movie. Like make that a revelation. Like make that like a Star Wars Luke.
Add that in, because they have the scene. They have it.
Yeah, like I am your father. Like that kind of fucking like. Big
turns out Laurie Strode ain't who you thought she was.
Yeah,
right.
And put that in there, and then just like at the in the final movie, like have people question, like we've been watching Laurie Strode go after Michael this whole time. Like maybe we're rooting for Michael. I mean, Michael's not a good guy. Clearly,
I would like to see that though. I would like to see that because Jamie Lee Curtis is, as much as I respect her as an actress and her career or tenure or whatever, she's a little bit in her own head.
She's full of herself, yeah, for sure. And,
and
I
think if her character was more like that, it'd be more realistic. It wouldn't come off as fake. Because even though it's still well done, it still comes off as fake. It's inauthentic.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I appreciate her for that. Like I appreciate for how outspoken she is.
Oh, I do too. There's a lot of good things she has to say.
It would be.
I'm talking about like referring her to herself as JLC and shit like that. Like, get out of your own head.
Yeah,
come on.
I just laugh at that now. But,
it's funny. Maybe she's just old and she's trying to be cool. I don't know.
It does feel like this is a trilogy. I guess we're calling it that. It wants to play it safe. And I feel like there's not really a whole lot of story. Like it's just a lot of action that's happening, which is fine. It's a Halloween movie. Like if you're just gonna have him go around and kill a bunch of people, that's cool. But I think that
the trailer gave away too much. But
the trailer for Halloween Kills does give away way too fucking much, and I will.
But it looks good, doesn't it?
It does. It's got me really like excited for the movie. So they did a good
job. That cello score.
In the which?
The cello score they got going on there.
Kind of. The music. I mean, I hope that is the score. Like I'm actually more anxious for the release of the score than I am for the movie.
Because the original director's making it with his kid and godson.
Yeah, well, the 2018 score, again, like production value, like that's my favorite score of all the franchise. And this one, like when I was listening to the music in this trailer, I kind of like it sounded like they were paying homage to the score from other installments. Like I heard a little bit of Halloween 5 in there. Maybe that's just me, but I've listened to these scores so many times, but the John Carpenter coming back to do that is incredible because at one point he was just like done with the franchise. He was done with the character. He didn't even want to do the second one. It's weird that the director of Pineapple Express made this all happen. It's interesting. It is weird, and Danny McBride and apparently
I know
Jake Gyllenhaal, who's JLC's
Mysterio. So Mysterio, convinced Laurie Strode to do another Halloween. That's what happened.
Yeah, they'll work it into the MCU.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic.
Yeah,
right.
He actually manipulated Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's her own.
Well, did you know that Kevin Smith's technically in the MCU because Miramax has been owned by Disney this whole time? So think about that. And
wait, so
Mallrats' script is in Captain Marvel. Stan Lee has a cameo in Mallrats. Kevin Smith's View Askew universe is connected to the MCU.
Oh, okay.
And it's technically owned by Disney. Because Miramax has been owned by Disney.
Yeah, I mean
since before even Scream. So think about it. It's good. Disney technically put out Scream.
I mean, Disney owns everything at this point.
Yeah, they own everything.
Sydney.
I'm in Florida. They own everything.
Yeah.
I'm literally in the capital of fucking Disney right now.
Do you go to Disney World a lot?
I've never been.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm more of a Universal guy.
Okay, fair enough. I went to Disney World once.
So you've been to the evil land of Florida.
I have been to Florida. Many years ago. I think this was 1991.
How old are you?
35.
Oh, really? I thought you were closer to my age. That's funny.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, well.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm eternal. I'm a vampire. I don't.
It's good to look. It's good to look young.
You know,
it really is.
It is, but I feel like it's definitely like hit me in this last year.
Do you get carded everywhere you go? Still?
Well, I mean, I don't go anywhere, but
it's true.
No, I don't. I don't usually get carded. Like if I do, it's because it's just a formality, and they have to check with everyone, and that's more so because like, oh, your ID might be expired, which is something that happened to me the last time I tried to go somewhere. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm glad because I just wanted to go home anyway. But it's Disney World was definitely a good memory for sure. I remember the.
So it's worth checking out.
I mean, I don't know what it's like now. It's
different.
Probably way more expensive than it should be, and
yeah, they got the Star Wars overpriced Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, I might be more interested to check out Disneyland or Universal, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go out to California at some point.
You were telling me that you.
Yeah, I was planning on going. I was going to go hang out with Jamie Kennedy and Kyle Anderson and all them, but then I had to watch my parents' house while they went on vacation. So when I finally do get to go on vacation, I will go out there.
Yeah, that'll be nice to hang out with them.
Oh, they're cool people. Like I said, they've been super nice to me. So, it's good to know that there's a good side of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Out of all the shit that comes out, it's just nice to know.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I'm like outspoken against bad shit. That's how you know you find good people, is when they're on your side with that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean even
it's usually the people who are on the outside of Hollywood, because the ones who are, inside, they're the ones who are kissing ass and, keeping quiet about shit.
But like people like Jamie Kennedy, though, right? He admits to all his faults, and he's a very honest dude. How many other actors do that? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. How many? There was one from Dexter, and I'm not trying to talk badly, but Desmond Harrington, the guy who plays Joey Quinn, he was doing something really cool with his Instagram where he wasn't posting any photos of himself, right? And he had like a couple thousand followers. So then I'm like leaving supportive comments, and then he's like deleting comments after he responds, right? And then he deletes all of his photos, starts posting photos of himself, and buys followers.
Interesting.
Doesn't that suck?
I don't even know what he's done since Dexter. Is he coming back
Nothing.
for the...
No, dude, this is a complete reboot. It's in a different location. Yeah. The only person coming back is Michael C. Hall, I believe.
Yeah. I just remember Desmond was in Wrong Turn. Desmond was the main character in that, other than Eliza Dushku.
Well,
that's weird.
It's just kind of douchey. I'm sorry to say it. It's just kind of douchey.
I mean, typically I don't follow a lot of.
I was promoting that.
Yeah.
I put it up in my stories. I tagged them.
I don't follow a lot of
whatever. I don't
celebrity accounts.
I don't either, really.
Only if they're really like connected to things that I like, or I.
I follow Green Day. I love Green Day.
Oh yeah.
I've always loved Green Day. I've seen them 5 times. I met them. Actually, I used to be butthurt because they didn't call me up on stage. They were protecting me. They really were.
What was
they really were. In 2016 at the DCU Center in Worcester, I was about 20 feet away from them. I was like, I can play. And Mike was like, you can play. And Jason, the lead guitar player, he's like, you can play. I was like, yeah, I can play. My whole life I wanted to, because this is the 4th time I had seen them out of 5 times.
Yeah.
So the next time I saw them, it was August of 2017 at the Xfinity Center in where isn't it, Foxborough, Mass? Mansfield, Massachusetts. Yeah. And I had my band's second album, Spaced Out, and I tried to like chuck it on the stage, and I missed.
Oh shit!
But it's okay because I got like the seal of approval from their engineer Chris Dugan, who actually mixed American Idiot. He's the reason why I started going to school for mixing music and stuff, which I plan to go back. I just got to pay off my debt first, so that's sort of where I'm at now with that. Yeah, yeah. New album's coming out in August too, so I'm excited about that. But what were we talking about again? I forgot.
We were on Disney World, and we moved over to.
I'm ADD. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I totally get it. I'm just kind of going with the flow here.
The flow, yeah. But, I don't mean to interrupt.
That's the thing. Like with the podcast, you don't have to get follow a certain template of what needs to talk about. I'm sure there's still questions that you asked me from back at the beginning that I haven't answered. But that's
there's like one.
Which one?
I have another one.
Oh,
I have another one.
Sure, shoot.
What drives you to keep making interesting and amazing content?
I mean, I need to survive.
There you go.
For sure, but
survival.
I think that the thing is that like I wouldn't want to sell out. Like I wouldn't want to just make a video to make a video. Although I'm sure
which a lot of people do.
Yeah, I'm sure I've done that, but I want to make content that I would watch. And I know that like provides value to people. That's the way to do it. I wouldn't want to make like clickbaity things. And so far, like that's worked for me. So like if anyone listening is kind of on the YouTube train or wants to jump on it and just sees all these channels that just make bullshit garbage and are successful from it, just know that like I've made videos which I put a lot of time and effort, just like really hard work, a lot of sleepless nights making, and they didn't really pay off right away. But I've had videos now that I've made like a year ago or over a year ago that still make money every day. So maybe 72 hours of my life from a year ago that I like all the way through. It was just like painful, sleepless hours of just making shit. That stuff has been paying off for over a year now. And that's the kind of content that I want to make. Like I want to put all my effort into doing good shit that's going to be seen for years from now.
I've heard big podcasters reference your breakdown video of the opening scene of Scream, where the killers were.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That one was...
I mean, other videos have completely said that they want to work with you, like Podcast Now. He was saying he wanted to work with you. Really? So, like, a lot of people love your content.
I mean, people should,
and it's because you take that approach, because you love what you do. You want to make stuff that people want, like, that first off, you want to watch. Therefore, other people are going to watch it. Because you enjoy it. That's why I do it.
I mean, yeah, it's like you were saying, like, you can't work in a job or sell things that you don't love. Because it's soulless. And eventually you're just going to wear yourself out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I would love for those people to contact me. I feel like I'm not the best at responding. Like I try to, and I don't know if I get messages that I just don't come to me. But yeah, I'd love to just shoot the shit with people about the whole process. Because I mean, like the one thing in life, I mean, like other than horror movies, that I love talking about is YouTube. And I don't even really know like a whole lot of anything about YouTube. Like, I don't want to say that I got lucky. Like, I definitely did my research and I put the work into it. But
you did it better than I did.
I mean, you did pretty well. I remember there was a time you blew up there for a bit because you ended up getting like 1,000 new subs.
It's kind of stayed at 1,000, but I get a lot of views, so I'm alright with it.
That's good.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's just extra money in your pocket.
Oh, I don't make shit off of it. It's alright though. I do it because I love it.
But I mean, you do make some revenue.
No, not on the YouTube videos.
Oh no?
I don't get enough views for that. That's okay though. I don't, like I said, I don't do it for it.
I mean,
it's a hobby for me.
It's promoting. It's going into other things.
Oh, I put more money into it than I made, but eventually it pays off. So I'm not expecting anything. I do it because I love it.
That's the thing. Like you got to. I mean, I've heard people say to not believe the saying you got to spend money to make money.
No, you do.
You do.
You have to.
But you have to spend money correctly. Like you have to put it into the right things. Like it's like making an investment that will pay off over time. Like I just bought a new lens for my camera that hopefully will fix some of the issues I've been having and look a lot better for videos when I do make them. And that cost a pretty penny, but I see that as something that, like, first of all, I can write it off on my taxes, but it's also going into something that is making me money.
Right.
So it makes sense for me. And another thing is, like, when you start a channel, you don't need to have a whole lot, because I think, like, when I that one video that you're talking about, the is it the one with the mapping out?
Yeah, the mapping.
I didn't have anything. Like if you look at my set or like background, like back then, like it was pretty small scale. Like I think it's just like
you souped that shit up.
Yeah, like I definitely like once I had the means to do it, I did, but it didn't contribute to the success early on. Like that all came from what I had to do. And that video in question, that was probably the hardest video for me to make recording again.
I think the video will be good enough if you're okay with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. What were we talking about?
We're just saying that that video, the one that's the mapping out.
Oh, the mapping out.
Yeah, that was the hardest fucking video I ever made, because it was so time consuming, and I used Keynote on my Mac to animate it, and that was really the first time that I kind of figured out, because I knew like little things on Keynote here and there, but that really was like a lesson in how to use Keynote to make animation. And I probably couldn't go back and do the same thing again, because I forgot all the things that I did, because it's so intense and overcomplicated. And I know people are like, you should do the same thing, but with like the scene at the end with the house. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to fucking do that again. But also that scene's not in real time, so it doesn't really warrant it. But I think I want to say that took at least 3 weeks or more. I remember I started it months before and just never really got back to it, and then continued it at one point. But it was a difficult one to make, and surprisingly, like, it's not a video that's made a lot of money for me. But that's mostly because I only put like one ad in it, just because it's meant to be viewed alongside the movie. That having all those ad breaks interrupting it would fuck up the just kind of like the precision that I put into just being like, at this millisecond, that's when this happens. So it's gotten like a good amount of views, which I appreciate, and I like that it it might have allowed someone to find something new about the movie that they love so much, or just even help them find my channel and watch other videos from that. But just in terms of the amount of work that I put into it and what I've gotten in return, it's not something that I would ever want to do again.
Right.
But I mean, if people want to attempt something like that, I say go for it. Like, it's I'm glad I did it. That's for sure. I'm glad it's really out there.
The Scream 4 breakdown video with the link to the alternate version of it, because I always wanted that version.
Right. I don't even know if it's there anymore, because the guy who sent it to me, he might have taken it down. I don't claim any ownership or credit for that. It was
I re-downloaded it recently. I don't think I was able to watch it outside of Wi-Fi, but I'll try it after the call.
Yeah,
because that's the only version of the movie that I consider to be real.
That version of the movie really, it puts a lot of things into context. It makes it adds a lot of depth to the characters who are just kind of shoehorned in there and don't really do much except for have a scene or two and then die. So
Right.
it offers more context to the Jill and Trevor relationship. We see more going on there, that by the time at the end of the movie where she betrays him and we find out she's the killer, it's almost like,
Right.
oh wow, like she really
Yeah.
was selling that. Like it allows for her
Can I
to.
say one major flaw with that though? In the opening, not the opening scene, but the opening scene with Jill in it when she gets into Kirby's car, right?
Yeah.
You see a black star in her house, and she gets in, and the first thing Kirby says is, "You have to promise not to kill me." The movie gives it away in the first fucking scene, dude.
I never thought about that.
Right there. Dude,
I mean,
right
technically
there.
she didn't. It was Charlie who did, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that.
I think she was there. She stabbed Gail. That's the one she did do. It's possible they could have. Robbie took the car there with Charlie, right? So he couldn't. He could. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the movie's just a mess. Like especially when you're looking at Scream 1 and just see all the attention to detail that Wes Craven put into that movie. Because he had to. I mean, this was, he was coming to a point in his career.
But I think that third killer in the woods, because it's not possible that it's Billy or Stu, because they're at the video store, has to be Roman. But that's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Roman had anything to do with it, but personally, but I think that it's not linear. Like nothing is happening in real time at that point. So
it helps the recon though with Scream 3. If you believe that whole thing, if you like the ending, if you want to believe that too, you can enjoy it. That's all I'm saying.
I think that with Scream 3, where they kind of shit the bed there, is that in Scream 1 there is a perfect setup for Roman to be seamlessly introduced into the franchise in Scream 3, and having that involvement with Maureen's murder.
Right.
And that's in the scene where in 1 where Gail and Sydney are talking in front of the news van in front of the school, and Gail says, "No, you saw somebody who you thought was Cotton, who left wearing Cotton's jacket, the same person who planted the evidence and framed Cotton, and yada yada yada." And I mean, it's implied that was Billy, because they kind of, when you see Cotton on TV, he has the same kind of like greasy, longish hair.
Right.
But
there's no photos of what Roman looked like then.
There's no photos of what Roman looked like then, but there's just the fact that, like, if it was Billy, how did Sydney not recognize Billy? She's seeing him from behind, but if it was like someone that she didn't think she noticed, and it would have been a thing that came up in part 3 where they're like, "Don't you remember that you saw somebody leaving your house after killing your mom, and you never knew who it was? Like you thought it was Cotton, but then it turned out that Billy and Stu accordingly killed your mother or whatever, and then you just forgot that there was that extra person."
That uses a voice changer that automatically has anyone's voice, which was scary to me at 5 years old. I was 5.
Yeah. I mean,
not anymore.
Yeah, still, like, the franchise has its flaws, but the first movie is nearly flawless, and that's because Wes Craven, he thought he was at the end of his career. Like this, they were taking a chance on him.
On the opening scene, and it's very clear.
Yeah.
And the changing because they didn't have the rights. Yeah, you could see a retractable, just like in the stab opening scene. You could see the retractable easily if you really look.
But
no, it's cool. I love it.
But in terms of like a filmmaking, like a broader filmmaking perspective, just like everything that went into the movie. Whereas with 2, 3, and 4,
revitalized genre.
Yeah, with 2, 3, and 4, like he probably still would have, brought his A game to it. Not to say that he didn't, but just because of all the studio meddling and the time constraints, they were just like, no, you got to do this and you got to do it now. So when we get to Scream 4 and there's all that bullshit with, how is the killer in the closet, but he's also somehow outside on the street to distract the cops, and then Jill, the other killer, is in the house on the phone. Like there's this third person who is like this phantom killer who doesn't exist unless in the new movie they be like, oh, but there was a third killer.
Right, like Judy's in it, and she has that weird scene with Sydney in the staircase where she's like, her eyes look all like separated and she looks possessed and shit. I don't know. Whole Lemon Square thing could just be kiss Dewey's ass to eventually poison her.
I mean,
you find out, you never know.
You never know. I don't want to speculate
Dewey
too much.
And Taylor could be divorced for 10 years in this one.
I mean, I think it would be annoying if they, took that route just because it happened in real life. But
right, no, I know, but like their characters kind of seemed at that point anyway. And they did.
I mean, I feel like Scream 4 fucked them over real good. Like that movie did not do justice for Gale and Dewey.
Dewey kind of got a bedpan to the head from Roberts. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's late, and he hires these dumb cops that just get killed. What the fuck? That's not how Woodsboro was run back in the 90s.
He's not the greatest sheriff, but he's got heart, so
Just compare it to the police force from the first movie, and you're like, whoa, that's like two different movies, man.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that the first movie was filmed in Santa Rosa, and then 4 was filmed in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah.
So there's a clear difference. It's not the same, even though it's Woodsboro.
There's like a disconnect there with the location. Like it doesn't feel like the same Woodsboro. And
even Marco Beltrami's score sounds tired.
Yeah, having said that, I am disappointed that he's not back for the new one. But
you know what? Oh, you know what else is funny? Logan. You know the Wolverine movie, the rated R one?
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
And Elise Neal's in it, and she gets fucking killed by something that's like a knife.
It's all coming back full circle. Yeah. And he's scoring that movie, and he's watching. He's like, I've made music to your death before.
Scream 2?
Yeah.
It kind of does. Like some parts of Logan feels a little bit like Scream 2 because of those two reasons.
Yeah.
It's weird. Sorry.
I really like Elise Neal because I don't know anything else that she's done besides those movies.
Logan, Scream 2? Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's still working though. That's good. There's a big gap between Scream 2 and Logan. Think about that.
Yeah.
Still getting a role at that point. I mean, there's plenty of actors that were working in '97 that probably aren't working today.
Oh, totally.
So, yeah,
good for her.
I'm happy that Joaquin Phoenix is still going. His Joker was fantastic.
Oh, agreed. I mean, like Heath Ledger. Like it's hard to live up to that, but it's so different.
No,
the thing with Joker is like I feel like the violence in that movie felt so real. Like you see violence in movies before, but it always feels like movie violence. Whereas in Joker, it just like this feels like yeah.
It was really a much better experience in the theater.
Oh, for sure.
And that dude, like when he goes on to the talk show, you get what you fucking deserve. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Robert De Niro agreed to that.
I mean,
doesn't really make.
De Niro, he's one of those actors like he'll do anything these days.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He was never in a Kubrick movie though.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I.
What's your favorite Kubrick movie?
Kubrick, The Shining.
I have to sit down and watch it. It's just something I've avoided ever since I was a kid.
Oh yeah, why's that?
But I did Clockwork Orange the other night, so
yeah.
I mean, at that point, I can handle anything.
I mean, Clockwork Orange is the other one that's, right.
That movie's. I mean, it's not telling you to side with the dude, but dude, that blows the lid on so much. Just like Eyes Wide Shut. Actually, our new album is called Purple because that movie Eyes Wide Shut has like a red and blue theme. Yeah. We got an album called Versus Blue. and the whole thing's dedicated to Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. Well, the poster for Eyes Wide Shut is purple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie has balls. That movie's balls.
It's been a while. I've only seen it the one time.
I don't know
but apparently there's
it's not like something that, again, you're not going to enjoy watching it. It's supposed to be like a learning piece, you know? Yeah. Like, you learn from it.
Oh, for sure.
Don't go into any internet rabbit holes, and you'll get lost pretty quick. And there's a lot of people who misproperly cover that film.
I mean, yeah, I feel like a lot of Kubrick's filmography is up to like interpretation, especially The Shining. Like it could mean so many things to everyone.
Yeah. You know what I gained from it?
What's that?
Fuck you, Stephen King. And Stephen King said, "Fuck you, Stanley Kubrick."
Yeah, I don't like. It'd be interesting to know, because I mean, like, Kubrick was notoriously just a shit to, I mean, Shelley Duvall and probably like other people on that, and like, you know, throughout his career. So it'd be interesting to know if, like, you know, he intentionally was like, fuck you, Stephen King.
Yeah.
Or if Stephen King is just like, it's just a case of like just a really sensitive writer who's like, you know, you totally missed the mark on what my story was.
Right.
You know, having said that, I did really love Doctor Sleep. I thought that was well done.
I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
Oh, it's great. And it pays respect to, you know, both The Shining, the movie, and Shining,
and
the book.
Cool.
And that it could be a follow up to either of them, and it works still either way. You know, you could still watch it as the follow up to the book or the movie. So I like it for that.
Yeah.
And that was another, like, and that's Mike Flanagan. He's another great, more contemporary horror director.
Right?
What's
he did
that?
Your Next. I think he did Your Next.
He didn't do Your Next, but he did Gerald's Game.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. He did the prequel to Ouija. He did Hush.
Hush. I was thinking of Hush. Yeah. Who did Your Next?
Adam Wingard.
Yeah, Adam Wingard. Yeah.
That
was really.
Yeah, he did. Mike Flanagan. He did The Haunting on Hill House. Ouija: Origin of Evil. Oh, Oculus. That was the other one.
Oh, Oculus. Yeah.
So I feel like he's you know, one of those. I mean, I was gonna say like up and comer, but he's already like pretty well established. Good, but like more so like I feel like he's gonna be, you know, 20 years from now, he's gonna be like the next Wes Craven name. Like that's like people are gonna be saying like Mike Flanagan, like they talk about Wes Craven. Same with Jordan Peele.
You know what I think is funny though? How like, I mean, I don't agree with how Shelley Duvall was treated on The Shining, but how like 20 years later when they made Scream, how like Drew Barrymore was okay with Wes Craven reminding her of dead cats so that they would get the reaction out of her. It just changed.
Yeah.
Hollywood changed.
I mean, I think that like the thing with like Wes Craven is that he was so
sweet about it. Kubrick was an asshole about it.
Yeah, like Kubrick was an asshole, but like Wes Craven, like he had almost like this fatherly bond with his actors and just like, you know, people that he worked with. Like people love him. He's just like such a sweet, down to earth, kind hearted person from like everything that I've heard about. And you know, he's just really really intelligent. You know, he's just very well educated, like almost like a university professor type. Like these are just the things I've heard about him, and
it sucks that he had to say that the Weinsteins were good people, because you could tell it hurt him. You could tell he knew.
I mean, I think that he's, you know, there's enough on record there where he's just like, you know, has his issues with them, especially when it came to the werewolf movie Cursed. But I think like the thing with Wes Craven, I mean, I've always loved Wes Craven's work and like enjoyed it, but I don't think it wasn't until, I started doing this whole YouTube thing and analyzing Scream that I really started to develop a great appreciation for him as a director, especially on Scream, for just seeing everything that he did. Because this is a movie, I can watch it 100 times, and every time I watch it, I find something new that I missed the last time. Like that's how much attention to detail he put into it that we're still discovering. Like the other day, I noticed what movies Casey was watching, or like what she was about to watch at the beginning.
I saw that.
Yeah, because it was Halloween, which you could. I mean, for the longest time, I just thought they were generic video store cases, and then when I was editing for my last video, I went back and I looked. And I'm like, oh, you can actually see there's a title on there on both of them. So I expanded it, and like the one on top is clearly Halloween, because you can tell from the font, like you can't mistake the Halloween title. And I think there's even a part afterwards where you can kind of see from like a higher up view down when they're sitting on the television, and you can make out the cover for Halloween, like the pumpkin. It's very faint, but you can see it. But the one underneath, I'm like, well, what's that? Like, it's kind of a purple thing, but I definitely noticed there was a Paramount logo, but I still couldn't figure it out. But then later on, when she's, crouched beside the television, you can see the top of the cassette, and it says, like, there's the lettering, and it says the end of the word children, and then corn 2. So like it's Children of the Corn 2, and I had to look up to see what the spine of that VHS looked like, and it was sure enough the purple one. And I'd never noticed that before. I'm sure when the movie comes out on 4K, which is like supposed to be released in a few months, like everyone will see it then, because it'll be so clear. But I mean, 25 years, I never knew which. I think that was just a mystery. It's just like, what movies was Casey going to be watching the night she was murdered? And now we know.
Did you know the Scream came out on my birth year?
96?
Yep, 3 months after I was born.
That's a good year. What's your birthday then?
9996.
9996. Okay.
It was 4 years later.
4 years later, what?
That would be 9999.
I mean, at least it wasn't 666.
Right, yeah, thank God.
Yeah. My birth year, what came out that year? I think 85. That was Reanimator. I think that was the big one that came out that year. I know Goonies. I mean, not horror, but like the Goonies. That was
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. I know there's some gems there. I feel like 86, that like there was way more better movies that year, but
when did The Outsiders come out?
I don't know. I've never actually seen it.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
But if you watch, like if you were a kid and you watched that alongside The Karate Kid, you might end up getting the two mixed up when you look back, which is weird because people seem to love The Karate Kid a lot more.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai's big now. That's awesome. Glad they're doing that. Yeah,
that's another thing I don't know anything about.
Yeah, it has its fans.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I was really enjoying not all of the Marvel shows on Netflix, but just Daredevil, really. And I'm sad that
the original Marvel show, like not the Disney Plus ones.
No.
Okay.
No.
Like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
They're kind of in the MCU, but they're just like sort of like nipping at the bud with it, like mentioning the big event.
Yeah.
But I think that Charlie Cox did a fantastic job as Matthew Murdock and Daredevil. And Rosario Dawson's in it, which is really cool because she gets to play a serious part. I mean, she does great comedic roles too, like her role in Clerks 2 is fantastic. I love Kevin Smith. He's fucking awesome. Actually, it's weird. On Facebook, I've been recognized as one of Kevin Smith's top fans, and I barely ever comment on his thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I have fond memories of the Jay and Silent Bob
I know,
movie, right? Or Strikes Back. and the references to Scream in it.
Oh yeah. Wes Craven's in it.
Wes Craven is in that movie with Shannon Doherty and a chimp.
Really, a monkey, Wes?
Yeah.
Oh, you can come up with? Oh, monkey's test.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's another like Wes Craven. He had such a good sense of humor about himself too. Yeah. And like, and you know, for lines in Scream where they're just like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, like the first was good, but the rest sucked. Even though he did 3 and 7, or he wrote 3, but then he wrote and directed 7. Right. And I think that he was like, oh, I don't know if I want that line in the movie, but then it's like, it looks even worse if you take the line out because of that. And he's like, yeah, I'll just leave it. And it's, you know, it pokes fun at myself. But like you can't take yourself seriously in Hollywood.
Dream Warriors, come on. Wait, this is the best one. It's the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't direct it, unfortunately, but he wrote it.
Yeah. That's, I actually just got that franchise, like the box set on Blu-ray. So I have to revisit it too.
Freddy's Dead sucked.
Yeah, I feel like the middle movies are not great.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Thorn trilogy, like the Dream.
Yeah. Oh, I don't
want to talk about Dream Blanks. Dream Masters is good.
Impregnator, right?
What's that?
The timeline where Michael Myers rapes his niece Jamie, and then impregnates her.
I mean, I think that's in the producer's cut, but the theatrical cut, I think it was more so implied that it was Dr. Wynn. The whole thing is fucked up. I like that movie for aesthetic reasons. The story is awful.
No, the kills are great. I can't shake the fact that the Weinsteins also produced that movie.
Yeah, I mean the Weinsteins, because like you were saying, like even Scream 3 is such a, it's almost like we're referencing ourselves with like the character of Milton. Yeah. And you know, keep in mind that like Harvey wasn't as involved in the Dimension side of Miramax as Bob was. Yeah. So it was mostly Bob Weinstein on those movies, but still like that the whole bit with John Milton played by Lance Henriksen in Scream 3, he has a line where he says
one in the Tatum scene too, all that.
Yeah, but he has a line where he says, you know, it's Hollywood. Like it's like she knew what she was getting into. Like that's just how, you know, you have to play the game. And you have to think like this is a line, I don't know who wrote, if that was like Aaron Kruger who wrote it, or it, you know, it was something that like they commissioned Aaron Kruger to write because the Weinsteins told Kruger like this is the movie that we want. We want them to go to Hollywood. So it was almost like kind of a way to, you know, in that character being like, we're normalizing this. This is what Hollywood is about. So, you know, get on board or get fucked.
Yeah. He's like, how would you like it being dragged out onto national television? I literally just watched the movie.
But, I mean, he does get his throat slit in the end, so it's, you know.
Metaphorically, so did Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it again, like
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Art imitating, or life imitating art.
Imitating life.
Yeah.
Just Mickey said in Scream 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're both obsessed with all 4 of the movies. I've seen them all at least 100 times.
Very good.
Yeah. But you might like them more. I think you like them more. I think you do.
Yeah, I mean, the first one for sure, the second one, but you know, that's the thing. Like you have to take, you know, with any like great love, like you have to take it for its faults as well. And
I mean, three's flawed, but it's a fun movie. It's funny. I love it.
I mean, like maybe like I'll get shit on for this, but I mean, right now at least, like I currently prefer 3 over 4. I think that 3 definitely like captures the spirit of Scream, but 4 captures the
gore aspect.
Not so much the gore, but just the concept of it, like the it's not as far up its ass as 3 is in terms of the comedy. Whereas like Scream 4 feels like a Scream movie in a sense that, I wouldn't say that it's like scary or anything, but it does, recapture more elements from the first movie in that regard than 3 did. Whereas 3 feels more of its era. Like it feels more like it belongs with the first 2 movies.
Yeah, right. The whole trilogy kind of like fits together. 4 is like the weird stepbrother. I think I enjoyed 4 more when it came out because I saw it in theaters with my stepmom on April 15th, 2011. Yeah. 10 years, a little over 10 years ago. I think I enjoyed it more because I had seen My Soul to Take a year before that, and that was a really, really terrible movie. I'm not trying to speak illy of Wes's art, but that movie was terrible.
My Soul to Take?
Yes.
Yeah, it was not a... And apparently, like, he was really upset that people didn't respond to it the way that he had hoped. And I understand that, like, you work hard on something and people don't love it.
It wasn't good. I tried to, like...
Yeah.
I watched it a few times. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
But Scream 4 was significantly better, so I think in the time it came out, I think that's why I loved Scream 4 as much as I did. I've liked it progressively less. I enjoy it now, but I'm not, like... up my own ass about it. Like I'm just not. Yeah. Like I prefer 3.
Oh, I've heard people who they
Wes Craven's last movie, so
they love 4. They think it's the best one out of the franchise, and will defend it to a level that I, could like where I feel like it's indefensible. But to each their own.
Yeah, the opening's great, but the opening with the alternate opening is significantly better.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we were saying, like everything that they took out or changed from that extended or like and as far as I know, there was even more footage. Like Wes Craven initially, I think it was like had 2.5 hours of a movie that had to be cut down, and I think that movie would have been excellent. And I think that the movie that Kevin Williamson was involved in before any of that would have been even better.
Replace him with Aaron Kruger again.
Yeah, but with all the stuff that was the beginning with Sydney in the opening scene with it was like a whole dinner party where Ghostface comes and kills everyone except for her, and then and then attacks her, and she's left in a coma, and then the rest of the movie takes place years later.
What's weird is a year before, like 2009, 10 maybe, they had this like Scream 4 teaser that came out on YouTube, and you can't find it anywhere now. It was back then, and it had the Screform logo.
Yeah.
And it showed like a bathroom door, and it apparently it was Sydney getting killed on the other side, but it wasn't fan made. So it must have been some early footage they were shooting for the movie before it was even announced.
Oh, weird.
To sort of like put a concept out there, but it wasn't fan made. It had the Screform thing, and it was in 2010. Not like, because they announced that in like August of 2010, but it was like early 2010. It was like
I would love for at some point in time, like just get a big, Scream Factory box set release or anything, and just put everything into it. I want to see every bit of like promotional material, deleted things, like just to piece together. I want to see what Kevin Williamson's full 30-page treatment was for Scream 3.
Well, I think originally they were going to kill Sydney at the end of Scream 4. That's what I think they were originally going to do, and then the Weinstein was like, no, don't fuck with the original, and that's what they did. Maybe one of the good things that they said to do. But that's just because they wanted their money. They knew it would piss the fans off. That's really all.
Yeah, we know. We might never know, but hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Maybe not. Be cool. Yeah, like so you were saying the original script for Scream 3, the one where Stu was the killer and he was having like kids from high school do it.
Yeah, it was a 30-page outline that Kevin Williamson submitted, and they didn't like it. And I mean, either they didn't like it or it's just because Columbine happened then, and they were just like they didn't like the idea of Stu orchestrating like a cult of high school students from prison. It just
would you be surprised if they did that in the 5th one?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was allusions to it, but I don't think that they would completely just like take an idea and then reuse it exactly as it was originally supposed to. Because I mean, so many people know about that. And also, Kevin Williamson was working on a show called The Following, I believe it was, where he took that same storyline and used it there. So I don't think that that was kind of his way of using that story.
Cool?
What's
There's
that?
an episode of The Following where one of the killer characters literally has the Buck 119 special. The knife that Ghostface used.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And I was like, holy shit, that's a Scream knife from this Kevin Bacon show. So years later, when I find out that was the original idea for Scream 3, that's totally on purpose, dude. I mean, that knife's in a lot of things, though. It's in the first season of Dexter. It's the first knife Dexter uses. He uses a variant of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the woodsy variant, the more like beige looking one with gold. Yeah, it's cool looking. They're cool knives. They're expensive. They sell them at every Walmart, believe it or not.
Yeah,
like $50.
I think that with Scream 5, I think that what I would like to see the most, just getting back to that.
Yeah, sorry,
original question. No, that's because I did answer it before, but I want to see a new story starting over. Like Scream 1 to 3 were predicated on Maureen Prescott's murder,
right?
And that
Don't just pull like Halloween 2018 where you just retell a similar story.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I don't either.
Yeah. But just create a new like mystery backstory. Like you have all these new characters. I want to see them like actually make use of these characters and not just have them be disposable like the ones in Scream 4. Not that they were all disposable.
I wish they stuck with Costco. That would have been a lot cooler if they actually called the store Costco.
Oh, is it changed? See, that's how little like I know about it.
They probably just couldn't get the rights.
I've been staying away from all that information. I don't know, and I even forgot that was an aspect.
With it, I'm sorry. I've seen the title card. It looks good.
Yeah.
There's been a first shot of Ghostface. They got a better mask than they did in Scream 4.
Well, that's good.
The one in Scream 4, right? It just didn't look right.
Yeah.
3, it's kind of edging on the not looking right, but 4 just didn't look right. Did it?
I mean, honestly, you'll probably get mad at me for this, but they all look the same to me, other than the one from the very first scene in the original.
Yeah, the K and B mask. That's also in the Henry too. The Henry Williams.
Well, because supposedly that's Billy. Because Billy had that mask and Stu had the other one. You know, if you really want to get technical about it.
But then the shot where Casey's getting killed and it's switching back and forth between cuts, like ultra quick cuts, even though it's just because they couldn't get the rights to the Funworld mask fully. That's all it was. And then they did, and then Funworld just kind of took it and made a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, they wear it with pride, so good for them. They at least they give credit to the movie too, like the as seen in Scream thing now.
Right.
That's been there since I want to say Scream 2 or 3.
Okay.
I used to have one of the Scream 2 masks, one of the weirder looking ones. The Randy Death Scene mask. The eyes are a little more tight. It looks a little bit more like the K and B mask actually. And I was like 14 and a friend gave it to me and he took it back, but it's kind of funny that like I like let go of the obsession of the movies for a bit and then like I connected to Jamie Kennedy like 10 years later. Like,
I mean, same for me. Like I kind of fell out of horror for a while there because I was obsessed when it was like 12, 13, 14. Going right up to my early 20s, and then there was just a point in time there where it's just like, okay, well, you know what, horror movies kind of suck right now, and they did for the longest time. Like the 2000s were not a good time for horror movies, and it wasn't until
but it's like Freddy versus Jason has its moments, but it's still a 2001 horror movie.
Yeah,
I
mean, even like going like farther than that, but
there's a lot of ones you like though.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's gems released every year.
Yeah.
But I just know that for a while there, because what had happened is they got on the remake train.
Yeah.
And they're just remaking inferior versions of movies that are already perfect.
I hate to say it, but Rob Zombie really shot the pig with that one.
I mean,
remakes are stupid. I'll never do a remake.
Yeah, well,
I'll never do it. Fucking Weinstein turned him into a hypocrite. That's what he did.
I'm not a fan of Rob Zombie or anything, but I will say that for Rob Zombie's Halloween, at least that was different than some of the remakes that we had seen.
Yeah.
Or just like generic bullshit. Even like the Nightmare on Elm Street one.
Completely original.
So I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I'll give Rob Zombie that much. But I mean, I still don't like the movie.
I could sit through Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, even though there's that redneck trashy stuff. I cannot sit. I'll never watch the Nightmare on Elm Street remake again. And it's funny because the director Sam Bayer filmed, Green Day. Mm-hmm. They had a really big show over in England at one of the big stadiums. I can't remember it at the top of my head, but it's a thing called Bullet in a Bible. He filmed a video for it, and it's actually pretty good. So, like, what the hell? You film a huge Green Day concert with 100,000 people, and then, 4 years later, you go and make a really shitty remake of Wes Craven's Glass. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you, Sam Bayer. Yeah, fuck you. Sorry. I do not like that movie.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's not good at all. I think that of any of those, the Friday the 13th,
I was just going to say, I'd rather watch that.
Yeah. Even though I don't really consider that a remake. It doesn't feel like a remake to me.
Kind of its own thing. It really is.
I think that the remakes to me that were well done were House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts. And that was kind of before the remake trend took off. Because those movies were remaking movies that were already outdated. They were already... It actually warranted a revival, whereas Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
those just kept getting worse.
I actually thought that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake was good, and that was one of the first, if not the first remake. And I remember I went into 3D.
that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was 10 years. That was bullshit. I'm talking about like the Jessica Biel one from 2003.
10 years before that, right?
Yeah,
right.
That one, I went into that with very low expectations, and that's probably why I was pleasantly surprised.
Right.
And I think because that one did well, that's what sort of, created the trend after that.
Right.
But it was all the Dark Castle ones, like the 13 Ghosts, and then House of Wax, which wasn't again not even really a remake. It was just a remake in name only. But those were the ones that I liked. I enjoyed those because it's like remake movies that we aren't watching, that we haven't seen because it's from another time. But I guess at this point, now that we're 20 years past that,
was Red Eye. Was that a remake at all?
No.
Or was that just its own thing?
That was an original.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That was different for him. Sorry to get off topic.
No, that's
what
okay.
you were saying.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just a bad time for horror. So I understand what you mean. Like I fell out of it. There's things in life that, I loved when I was a child, and then I just kind of lost track of when I, entered adulthood. But now I've since kind of revisited, like Lego. I fucking love Lego. Like that was my big thing when I was growing. Like it was my birthday. I'd be like, I want a big Lego set, and I would get that. And then, and like that's the best thing to get when you're 10 years old. Right. And then at some point, like you just grow out of those things. But then and I think that's where we're like in your 20s, like your early 20s, your late teens, early 20s. You kind of you're very impressionable. Like you're still like trying to find yourself, and there's certain things that you let go of because you just don't feel that they are conducive to becoming the person that you want to be. But then you get to a certain point where you're just like, fuck all that bullshit. I don't care about, these things that I'm supposed to care about. I was having more fun when I was, watching horror movies and doing that. So I get that. That's why, we come back to our first love. Like, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it was meant to be.
There you go. Right there. That also happens with actual love too, though.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it could be applied to anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. I should go and get a Lego set. It's been forever.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just
they're fun to build. They keep your mind occupied.
They are. I think it's very therapeutic. It's like meditative for me.
Yeah.
I know that like before, like like a month ago, not less than a month ago, like I got one and I like it took days to finish, but it was one of those things like I could just do a little bit a day, come back to it, and it felt good. It was like, I'm accomplishing something on the side. And when this is done, I'm going to feel like, I recharged my batteries and now I can like get back to doing, things that I love to do, like making videos for YouTube and just being productive.
You know what I love doing? Making some food, getting stoned, and watching your videos.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you were able to work me in there.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm part of the process. Like that's perfect.
I always try to promote it too. I care.
Yeah.
You've been good to me, man. Seriously, this has been fucking awesome.
Oh, you've been better to me.
Oh no, it's about fair and equal. I see it.
Yeah.
You're here. You gave the interview. It's longer than I.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, I'm glad that you had me here. I've had a good time chatting about Scream and Halloween and.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about other things. I'm free if you are.
Well, I got to, open the windows and cool off and get something to eat.
I do have to. I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, but was there anything else?
Yeah, I mean, if you want any plugs to anybody or shout outs or any upcoming content or anything you want to throw out there.
I don't know, like any plugs or anything. I mean, content, I just released a new video today. It's the Monday, the July 12th. Every horror movie reference made in Scream. So I'm continuing that with Scream 2, 3, and 4. And
4 is going to be crazy.
4 will be I mean, they'll all be crazy, but after that, I can't tell you anything in that foreseeable future, but there will be more to come. Other than that, I mean, if you want to support, I have my Patreon. My friend Edward is Truth on Instagram, and we do weekly podcasts there that are exclusive to that. It's literally $1 to join and listen. And we just have a good time with that. So, if you want to come on board, we're currently going through the Friday the 13th franchise. But other than that, it's just about being chill and enjoying the summer.
There you go.
We deserve it. We just got through a pandemic, and I don't even know if it's fucking over yet with whatever's coming next.
I got the first half of my vaccination. Like I have older, I can't play it. I can't play it any more than safe or anything less than. But I'm not sick. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Nothing sticks to my arm. We're good. You want to test it? We'll test it. All right. Ready? Want to see? Yeah. We're good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. I hope you have a good rest of your night. We should do this again soon.
You as well. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. If you ever want me on yours, I'll be there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll find a way to do it.
All right.
All right. Peace, brother.
Take care.